Hello there, this is Kimberly Wilson and welcome to our finale Doga with the lovely Belle Starr, who's modeling her new sweater today, and then Mookie in his darling Wolf Driver cape. I tried to make a doggy t-shirt and it went awry, so he now has a cape. And we're delighted to be here with you today for our finale. And what I mean by that is this is the last Tuesday 10 a.m. we're going to have for a while, as Wolf Driver's doing some fun programming restructuring. So thank you so much for those of you who have been tuning in weekly or kind of checking in and letting us know how this practice was having an impact in your life. It's been a total treat. Mookie's loved it. He loves napping through Doga every week. All right, Belle, is that it? Is that all we got with you? She's a little fickle. So we're going to begin by Miss Belle Starr. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. We're going to begin with a little bit of breathing. And then from our breath work, we'll move into some poses. Mookie's already getting relaxed, which is not easy for a very anxious dog. Oh, and hopefully you can see the fire. It's been so warm since we've been doing our sessions that we haven't been able to do a fire. So this is such a treat to have it with you today. To begin, I like to grab my lavender oil and share a little dose with Mookie as he turns away. Here you go, Mook Mook. So lavender oil, again, nice and relaxing. So you can place it on your wrists. You can place it behind your ears. And again, just maybe even having it with you throughout the day. This is just a roll-on. You can get it at your local health store. But it's a nice way to ground and drop in and relax during the day. And it is one that you can share with your pup. Some of them are a bit strong or a bit too much to put on your pup. But this one is actually pretty nice and benign. So we'll begin with a little bit of deep breathing. Isn't his cape so cute? So I like to bring one hand onto his heart center and then one hand onto mine. You can have eyes open or closed. And begin by taking a few deep breaths. And we inhale and exhale through the nose. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. So it's a nice long breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Good job, Mookie. Again, inhale and exhale. So these deep, full breaths are helpful to allow you to ground and kind of calm down. Today's a pretty intense time in America with the election today, so you may need some deep breathing. So I encourage you to keep this kind of something in your back pocket that you can just pull out. You're like, I'm feeling a little stress, some deep breathing. The great thing is you being more calm, it helps to in turn calm your pup, particularly if you have one like ours who has a lot of anxiety. So rather than revving theirs, it's nice to have a little bit of control of yours, which is not easy, right? So breathing can be really helpful, particularly as we're moving into the holiday season and things do tend to get a bit more stressful. Remember this breath. And if you can, think inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. So as you draw the breath in, you bring it into the belly, the ribs up into the chest, and then you exhale chest, ribs, and belly. All right, so now we'll begin with a little bit of movement, right, Mook Mook? So he's like, oh, here's the hard part. So we're going to begin by just a little bit of spinal movements, right, Mook Mook? And then as I do some spinal movements, I'm going to do a little bit of stretching for him. So extending his back leg, and then a little bit of massaging of the toes. And then his other back leg that happens to have an extra toe because he's so fancy. So extending and getting my fingers into those toes, right, Mookie? And then arms, which he doesn't like as much. He resists, and then just a little stretch there, and he resists. He loves the legs, not so much the arms. And then what I'm going to do is a little bit of spinal moving. All right, so for me, and I'm just going to let him relax because that's kind of what he does best. So for the spinal movement, you can bring one hand, you can keep it on your pup, and then begin to move the torso into a circle. So I'm going to the side, forward, side, and back. Now this is something you can do in a chair. You can do it while you're at work, maybe while you're driving, you're at a stoplight, you're on a plane, a train. So just these little bit of movements of the spine help whenever we are so sedentary throughout the day. And then move that circle in the other direction. So moving the torso. Relaxing the head and the neck as the body swirls. Nice. And then coming back to the center. So I'm going to release a hand from him just for a moment so I can reach both arms up. And then side bend over to my right. And then back up. And then I'm going to side bend over to my left. Now you can, if you want to stay here a little bit, you can keep the pup involved. We're just doing a little bit of scratching, a little bit of connection. And then I'm going to twist. So I'm going to bring my left hand to Mook Mook, or you can bring it to your right knee. And then the right arm behind you, inhale, tall spine. So reach to the crown of your head. Then exhale, twist as you gaze over that right shoulder. And inhale, tall spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to the center. Let's try the other side. So right hand to your pup or your knee, and then left hand behind you. And then we're going to inhale, tall spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, tall spine. And exhale, twist. And then back to the center. And a little forward bend and back bend. And then we're going to come up onto our hands and knees here into table pose. All right, so I'm going to turn and face in the opposite direction of forward, right? So that I can get a little horizontal along the fireplace, which is cozy, and then I get to stay on my mat. So it also gives you a nice view of kind of the side of the body with this pose. And Mookie's showing his side view too. So with this pose, it's called table. So coming onto your hands and your knees, if you have any props or whatever, you can just set them to the side, and props are nice to offer a little bit of additional support. Now, to keep him involved, Mook Mook, I'm just gonna squeeze right on in. Yes. And then I'm gonna come onto hands and knees again, into table pose. And I'm going to exhale, curve the spine, drop my chin to my chest. And then inhale, lift through the heart center. And then lift those hips also. Exhale, curve. So think Halloween cat. And then inhale, heart center lifts. Nice again. Exhale and curve. And then inhale, neutral spine. So we're going to come up into the pose that you see a lot in yoga, downward facing dog. Now this is a pose that you probably also see your dog doing in the morning or after their many, many naps. They have such an exhausting life. And so for downward facing dog, I'm going to scooch in just a little bit. Sorry to crowd you, Mookie. And hands come under shoulders, knees a couple of inches behind the hips. Curl your toes under, hi sweetie, and then lift those hips up and back. So what you're wanting to do here is make an inverted V with the body. So if you find that you're more like this, you may want to bend your knees, pull those hips back, right? So you have a nice straight spine, and then release the head, right, Mook Mook? And then from here, you can bend those knees, shake your head, yes and no, hi sweetie. And if you have cats or dogs, you probably notice they are drawn to your yoga mat. As soon as it comes out, they get on it. And then reach, reach, reach those hips, and then drop your knees. You got to watch out for your dog, particularly if you have a nice long one. And then giving them a little scratch, because, you know, clearly he worked really, really hard there. So downward facing dog, right? So down dog, those hips are up in the air. And as you see, it's a lot of effort. Now, you could also do the pose and just stay right here in your table and work there instead, okay? Because that might be a little too much. We're going to try that pose once more. And I'm going to bring my hands forward some, curl those toes under, and then pull my hips back. So I'm just going to adjust so that I can keep my head up near his. Right, Mookie? Can you see? He likes to gaze out. And then again, pedal feet, shake the head. Then if you'd like, maybe lifting one leg up. Now if you are here, if this is where your edge is, then you can lift one leg up also. Right, Mookie? Otherwise, you're going to stay in your down dog and lift one leg. Right, so this is a three-legged dog. Release, and then we'll try the other side. Now if you need a breather in between, come on down into table. You can take a rest. And you may remember last week we did child's pose. And we did child's pose on our pups, right, Mook? So if you want to do that, child's pose, you drop your hips to your heels, and then you rest here. So you can just rest your head on their chest, or if they're on their side or on their belly, you'd rest it on your back, on their back. And this is child's pose. Okay, so we're going to do the other side. Going to come right back up. Excuse me, Mookie. I know, hello, sweetie. I know, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. All right, and then we're going to lift the other leg. So lift that left leg, reach, reach, reach. Three-legged dog. And release that left leg. And then drop those knees down. Again, you got to watch out for your pup. And return once again to table pose. Again, hands and knees. Good job. Nice job, Mookie. So now I'm going to sit down, move the plant out of the way, and then come into a wide leg straddle. So the wide leg straddle is nice because you can keep your dog kind of just resting here. Right, Mookie? And you can draw those feet in. Hi, sweetie. How's that? Yes. He talks a lot. So here, flexing the feet, sitting up nice and tall. Now here's where the block would come in handy. If you find that the lower back is rounding, you could sit on the edge of a block, right? Could also support your pup with it. Maybe he needs a little extra support there. How's that, Mookie? So props can also be helpful for your pup. And then here, I'm going to walk my hands forward. So again, keeping him involved. Arms can come forward. So you're resting kind of your belly onto his chest or her chest. Feet are flexed. Inhale, lengthen through the chest, the sternum. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Yes. And then exhale, fold. Right, move, move. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. So we're going to do a side bend. So dropping that right arm, lift this left arm up and over. And again, staying connected. Twisting open, breathing. And then back up, and then other side. So drop that left arm, right arm up and over, breathing. And back up. Nice, very nice. And then we're going to lift him. So I'm going to move this block, move his support, lift him, and draw my feet together. Now, if you have a beverage nearby, I always like to practice with a beverage. So I've got some Moroccan mint green tea. So feel free to take a sip. You want to stay nice and hydrated as you practice, and particularly as the weather gets cooler, things tend to get a bit drier. All right, so from here, what I've done here is I've simply drawn my feet closer together, and this gives him a nice little resting. He's nice and supported. It's like a little recliner, his lazy boy. So here, I'm going to do a little bit of stretching for him too. All right, so I mentioned earlier he doesn't like the arms as much, so we'll see if I can do a leg and an arm at the same time. So we've got one leg, one arm, opposites. Good boy. And then we'll do the other side. Very nice. He's more relaxed now, so he'll let me. Okay, let's see. Are you exhausted, Mookie? Like, this Doga stuff is hard work, right? And then one more. What do you think? Yes, good job. He does not like that arm as much. Very nice. So again, the great thing with Doga, it's not so much about getting your dog into yoga poses. I mean, Mookie barely comes on command, so he's definitely not going to do down dog on command. Pigeon pose, do child. He'll just look at me and then go take a nap someplace. So the idea with Doga is really to give yourself the opportunity to bond with your dog in a way that goes beyond your traditional walks and feedings, right? So those are lovely too, and of course very important. But the great thing about Doga is it allows you to have a connection with your dog on a level that is just a little bit beyond the typical. And the great thing about it is too, is it can help to relax not only your pup, but also you. So I want to say a big thank you for joining us over these past few weeks. You can find all 17 episodes, if you can believe this. This is number 17. You can find them all on the Woof Driver Facebook page, Woof Driver, or at kimberlywilson.com/Doga. So again, it's been an absolute treat to be here with you, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And thank you for joining me and Mookie. We end all practices with the word namaste, which means the light within me acknowledges the light within you. So namaste, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Thank you.